Hey, folks, buckle up, because today on Boss Economics World, we're diving headfirst into the latest economic dumpster fire, courtesy of your friendly neighborhood government. That's right, we're talking tariffs, trade wars, and a White House that seems to think policy is just a fancy word for chaos. Grab your coffee, your calculators, and maybe a stress ball, because this is gonna be a wild ride. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, gather round, because President Donald Trump is back at it again, swinging his tariff hammer like a kid in a candy store who just discovered the concept of smash. His top trade negotiator, Jamieson Greer, is apparently trying to inject some order into this madness, but let's be real, when has order ever been part of the Trump playbook? With April 2nd dubbed the big one, insert dramatic music here, we're staring down the barrel of sweeping new tariffs on everything from autos to semiconductors to pharmaceuticals. And why? Because, apparently, the US government thinks the best way to fix the economy is to set fire to global trade and hope the ashes spell prosperity. Now, if you're new to Boss Economics World, let me break it down for you. Tariffs are taxes on imports, and they sound great if you're a politician trying to flex some populist muscle. Protect American jobs. Stick it to those pesky foreigners. But here's the kicker, tariffs are like economic boomerangs. You throw them out, and they come right back to hit you in the face. And trust me, folks, the face getting hit hardest isn't China's or Mexico's, it's yours, the American consumer, and your wallet. Let's start with the surface-level problem here, the sheer, unadulterated chaos of this tariff rollout. I mean, come on, people, this isn't rocket science, it's trade policy. But apparently, it's too much for the White House to handle without turning it into a circus. For 2 months, we've had false starts, presidential threats followed by quick reversals, and a U.S. Trade Representative, Jamieson Greer, who's basically been MIA until now. Why? Because he was only confirmed in late February, leaving the messaging to the dynamic duo of Peter Navarro and Howard Lutnick, two guys who seem to think economic strategy is just yelling louder than the other guy. And let's not forget the legal mess. Trump's team is reportedly planning to use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, to justify these tariffs, tying them to issues like drug trafficking and migration. Now, I'm no lawyer, but even I can see the problem here, tariffs to rebalance trade deficits don't exactly scream national emergency. Trade lawyers are already licking their chops, ready to file lawsuits faster than you can say unconstitutional overreach. And guess who pays for those legal battles? You do, taxpayers. Now, let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Because the real issue here isn't just the chaos, it's the economic fallout. Tariffs sound like they hurt other countries, but the data tells a different story. According to a 2023 study by the National Bureau of Economic Research, NBR, the tariffs imposed during Trump's first term cost American consumers and businesses a staggering $40 billion annually in higher prices. That's right, folks, those tariffs on Chinese goods didn't make China pay, they made you pay. And now, with Trump planning to slap tariffs on autos, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals, get ready for round 2 of this economic self-sabotage. Take the auto industry, for example. The U.S. imported $157 billion worth of cars and parts in 2022, according to the U.S. International Trade Commission. Slap a 25% tariff on that, and you're looking at an extra $39 billion in costs. Who do you think absorbs that? Not the foreign manufacturers, oh no, they pass it right along to American consumers. That dream of buying a new car just got a lot more expensive, folks. And don't even get me started on semiconductors. With the global chip shortage already driving up prices for everything from laptops to refrigerators, adding tariffs on top of that is like pouring gasoline on a forest fire. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the bigger picture here, because this isn't just about higher prices, it's about the risk of a full-blown economic recession. And trust me, the warning signs are flashing brighter than a Vegas casino. The Federal Reserve's aggressive interest rate hikes in 2022 and 2023 have already slowed economic growth, with GDP growth dropping to a measly 1.3% in Q1 2023, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Add in the market shocks from Trump's tariff threats, hello, Dow Jones dropping 800 points in a single day last month, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Here's the thing, folks, tariffs don't just raise prices, they disrupt global supply chains, kill jobs, and scare off investors. Just look at what happened during the last trade war with China. A 2022 report from the U.S.-China Business Council found that the tariffs cost the U.S. economy 245,000 jobs. And that was just round 1. Now, with Trump planning to tariff hundreds of countries, based on some mysterious formula, spoiler alert, it's probably just whatever he feels like that day, the damage could be even worse. Now, let's zoom out even further, because this isn't just an economic issue, it's a political one. And oh boy, is the White House milking it for all it's worth. Trump's calling April 2nd a liberating day for our country, but let's be real, the only thing being liberated here is his approval rating among his base. According to an NBC News poll released just this week, 54% of registered voters disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy. So, what does he do? Double down on the tough guy act, of course. Tariffs are the perfect political theater. They let him look like he's standing up to foreigners, without actually doing anything to fix the real problems, like wage stagnation, healthcare costs, or the crumbling infrastructure that's literally falling apart under our feet. And don't think for a second that this is some grand, well-thought-out strategy. The White House is a mess of infighting, with advisors like Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent pushing for tax cuts and deregulation, because apparently, trickle-down economics hasn't failed enough times already, while others are begging for tariff carve-outs for Mexico because, hey, at least they're helping with immigration and fentanyl. Meanwhile, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles is apparently listening to the business community, which is code for trying to put out the fires Trump keeps starting. Finally, let's talk about the global implications, because here's the thing, the world isn't just going to sit back and take this. Trump's plan to impose reciprocal tariffs based on what other countries charge the US is a one-way ticket to a global trade war. Just look at what happened last time. When Trump slapped tariffs on steel and aluminum in 2018, the EU retaliated with tariffs on $3.2 billion worth of American goods, including bourbon, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and Levi's jeans. Canada hit back with tariffs on $12.6 billion of US exports, from ketchup to lawnmowers. And China? Oh, they went straight for the jugular, targeting American farmers with tariffs on soybeans and pork, costing U.S. agricultural exports $27 billion, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. This time, with tariffs planned on hundreds of countries, the retaliation could be even worse. The World Trade Organization, WTO, is already warning of a domino effect that could shrink global trade by 1.7% in 2024, according to their latest report. And guess what? When global trade shrinks, so does the U.S. economy, because, surprise, surprise, we're not an island. We rely on exports for 12% of our GDP, and tariffs just make those exports more expensive and less competitive. So, folks, what's the takeaway here? Once again, we're watching a government that's more interested in political theater than actual economic solutions. Trump's tariff tantrum is a masterclass in mismanagement, chaotic, poorly planned, and guaranteed to hurt the very people he claims to be helping. Higher prices, job losses, market shocks, and a potential recession. Check, 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 and check. And all for what? To rebalance trade deficits. Newsflash, Mr. President, the U.S. trade deficit hit $1.2 trillion in 2022, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, and tariffs didn't fix it then, and they won't fix it now. Here at Boss Economics World, we're not surprised, but we are disappointed. Because this isn't just about tariffs, it's about a government that's failing its people, prioritizing optics over outcomes, and leaving ordinary Americans to pick up the pieces. So, to our viewers, whether you're a concerned citizen or a finance pro, keep your eyes peeled, because this economic train wreck is just getting started. And to the White House? Do better. Or, just do something that doesn't involve setting the economy on fire. That's all for today, folks. If you liked this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because trust me, you're gonna want to see what economic nonsense we roast next. This is Boss Economics World, signing off. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and stay solvent.